with part 3, Designing Your Extraordinary Life. This amazing book by Jacqueline Ortiz, the one and only Self-Love Diva, and Extraordinary You is the brilliant work of art that she wrote. And this will lead us into chapter 14, Igniting and Tending Your Passion. So here we go. Part 3, Designing Your Extraordinary Life. You've come a long way since embarking on your pilgrimage towards excavating your authentic self. This phase guides you in designing your extraordinary life on your terms. Because the only way you can lead an extraordinary life is by being true to your extraordinary self. Some of what you've read and some of the extraordinary sizes in this phase have been covered in previous chapters, but it bears repeating to assist you in the assimilation and processing of the information. You are not the same person that you were on the onset of this pilgrimage. Your personal growth has evolved and matured you into a more well-rounded human becoming, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. This will affect how you interpret and perceive the information you take in now. How you answered some of the extraordinary sizes then is not how you will answer them now. In this final phase, every chapter is geared toward excavating and defining what living an extraordinary life means for you. Included in every chapter are all the integral parts and components and attributes you will need to heal, implement, and incorporate into your life in order to design an extraordinary life. When you combine the authentic self you excavated with the passionate life you design, you give birth to an extraordinary life worth living and celebrating. Now it's time to design your extraordinary life. And Missy, Kitty Missy, is giving us all the indications that she is queen. She is queen. And she is giving us the indications that we must step forward into our full, authentic, extraordinary selves. And there's no other way. There's no other way to ignite and tend to your passions than by being true to yourself. Okay, chapter 14, Igniting and Tending Your Passion. A new extraordinary life begins with continually being and doing what brings you authentic bliss. What makes your heart sing, your juices flow, and your passion burn? What is your place in this vast, unlimited universe? What do you feel you were put in this universe to do, to be, to create? What is your life's purpose? There comes a time in everyone's life when these questions come to the forefront of one's consciousness. It is an awakening of consciousness, and you feel that there has to be something more. That something more is intangible, a restlessness, a gnawing in us, begging to set out on the treasure hunt of a lifetime. It is the search for the meaning of our existence. A new extraordinary life starts with the essence of who you are, what you stand for, and what you want. Combining the essence of who you are with your desire for an extraordinary life will make your heart sing and your passion explode. Sacred life lessons. As I have stated in the early chapters of this book, the essence of who you are today is a culmination of your experiences and life lessons. Everything and everyone that has come into your life has done so for a reason, so that you might learn life lessons that would prepare you to become a more balanced, well-rounded, and enlightened human becoming. In preparation for manifesting your higher purpose in life. These lessons are invaluable. They teach you more than to become independent, self-reliant, self-preserving, and full of self-worth and self-confidence. They teach you a whole spectrum of emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual lessons geared toward forming your character, integrity, and maturity while guiding you toward your life's purpose. Isn't this exciting? It is. Sacred life lessons are your fuel for spiritual growth. These lessons are divinely unique to your spiritual needs for growth. Your lessons are not presented as a form of punishment, nor should you view them as a scapegoat to blame for your circumstances. Lessons are neutral. They are presented for you to learn and transcend. Your perceptions and reactions determine your circumstances, not necessarily your lessons. You can choose to face and heal them, or you can bury your head in the sand and pray that they resolve themselves. True power is in how you face and handle your lessons. This means that you don't blame the past, nor do you deny their existence, hide from them, or resist them. Rather, you acknowledge and face the challenge as it is occurring. Surrender to what is. Release in order to transcend it. In the gym, you build muscle by lifting heavier and heavier weights. In your spiritual life, you must build muscles by your acceptance and willingness to take on more and more challenging tasks. This is the fast track to transcending from a denser spiritual energy into a lighter, higher spiritual plane where you are more in tune with the universal flow. Rather than praying or begging for it to resolve itself or go away, make a commitment to learn the lesson so it won't keep getting repeated. Remember to ask, what is the lesson being presented to me? Trust that the challenges and lessons presented are testing, molding, and refining your character as they guide you toward your divine destiny. When you acknowledge the lesson, ask to learn it so that it can assist in your growth. You will grow and transcend the lesson to emerge as a more enlightened human becoming. Extraordinary size 83. Make a commitment to identify the repetitive lessons that you attract. What lessons keep getting repeated in your life? What is the common thread in the lessons? Don't let the unattractive and unpleasant wrapper that these lessons come packaged in prompt you to return them to sender. These presents are truly heavenly gifts for healing and growth. Once you identify and acknowledge the lesson, make a conscious choice to learn and apply the lesson so that it will release its stranglehold on you. Now you are free to choose differently. Change the lesson or incorporate it into your life to transcend the current circumstances. Shed your old skin. Make sure to come to our talk about this chapter, and I'll share a story with you about a hike that Jacqueline and I went on when we encountered a rattlesnake, which is absolutely hilarious. And maybe I'll even show the video. Okay, shed your old skin. Your outer shell is the face that you present to the world. For most people, this isn't the real you, but it is the person that you want people to think that you are. It is the mask of the ego attempting to protect you from what it perceives as a threat from the world. Every time you challenge your outer shell, you are closer to excavating your authentic self. Do yourself a favor. Once and for all, shed your old skin. Trade it in for new threads. In shedding your old skin, you are taking a leap of faith. You are trusting in the infinite wisdom and grace of the universe, that everything is for the highest good and in its divine higher order. Through awareness, meditation, stillness, silence, non-judgment, compassion, and unconditional love, you strip away your old ego-based misconceptions of insecurity, prejudice, fear, envy, competitiveness, and pettiness, and you reveal your essence. This is your true, authentic self that resides deep within you. It is where all your greatness, power, and holiness lies. Start anew just as a caterpillar weaves a cocoon around itself before transforming into a beautiful butterfly. Shed the old you. This opens up cosmic space for your transformation into an extraordinary you. Where your passion lies, therein lies your purpose. Passion is the inspiration for the perspiration investment needed in manifesting true purpose. I'm going to read that one more time. Where your passion lies, therein lies your purpose. Passion is the inspiration for the perspiration investment needed in manifesting true purpose. Passion and purpose goes hand in hand. Where there's passion, there's purpose. Most people go in search of their purpose, when in reality, they don't have to go far. It already exists. Your purpose is that something that is your unique talent, skill, or interest. What do you love to do? What is it that you are good at, but you dismiss or take for granted because you don't think you can earn money from it, or you think it isn't grandiose enough to be your purpose? I've got news for you. Your passion is your purpose. You need passion to sustain your motivation and inspiration for fulfilling your purpose. Passion is the spark, the inspiration, the drive, the oomph behind a purpose. Passion and purpose fuse together to create the most beautiful works of art, technological advances, miracle medicines, and everything else you see and experience in this world. Do you have the passion in your life? What are you passionate about? Remember, your purpose doesn't necessarily have to be a grandiose plan to change the world, end world hunger, or bring about world peace. Your purpose is individually yours, but there is one common thread, which is consciously choosing to live passionately and purposefully every moment, moment by moment. Purpose without passion makes life seem like all work and no fun. Passion is the key that ignites your motor, your purpose. Who are you? Who are you? Who is this person staring back at you in the mirror? You are a unique, deliberate, and intricate manifestation of the universe. There is no other quite like you. Although you are dynamic and your cells are in a constant state of flux, your soul is changeless. Even though your cells are constantly being replaced, the essence of your soul doesn't change. There is always inner knowing, inner awareness. You are unique. You are a remarkable brew of your experiences, your talents, your likes, your dislikes, your beliefs, your skills, and your choices. To excavate your authentic self, you need to go within and reconnect with the essence of your divinity. Discovering who you are is not necessarily about suddenly developing new talents and skills. It is about reemergence or reconnecting or an awareness of who you have always been. You have innate talents and skills and interests waiting for you to uncover them. Claim them and incorporate them into your life as meaningful and purposeful aspects of who you are. When you discover who you are, you will experience more synchronistic events guiding you forward. You will experience more gratitude, grace, serenity, faith, and interconnectedness to the universe. You will feel a sense of acceptance, trust, and surrender to your role in the universal flow of energy. You will no longer have an insatiable need to acquire, take, control, or possess. Rather, you will experience a shift toward being a more giving, compassionate, empathetic, loving, and abundant mindset. You will feel the authenticity of living in the moment on your terms, content in your own skin, blissfully free to be the person you truly are. Who you are is more than your name, your body, your mind, your occupation, your lovers or spouse's significant other, your race, your gender, and your religion. It is not what others see or think of you. It is your inner essence, your soul. Who you are is a formless, abstract essence that resides within you. Witnessing your sensations, thoughts, perceptions, feelings, emotions, desires, memories, and beliefs. You have always been this person you seek. So instead of seeking outside yourself, go straight to the source. The source resides within each one of us. It is ours for the claiming if we choose to. The greater challenge is not in finding our source, but in accepting, embracing, and surrendering to our authentic nature without artificial or superficial attachments of who we think we ought to be, ought to do, and ought to have. When you truly know who you are, you'll experience an epiphany, a breakthrough. You will feel a deeply intense connection to your higher power, which is the powerhouse of your creation. It is the flow that flows within you. Where you are on your life path is where you need to be as part of this universal intelligence. All of your answers will be revealed in divine time and divine order. It is important to set your intention on discovering who you are to attract the awareness that you desire. But in your eagerness to discover who you are, don't force or rush. Don't get too attached to a particular idea or image of who you think you are or who you want to be. Don't set yourself a definite timetable or deadline. For now, you need to love yourself just as you are, warts and all. Right now, just as you are divinely perfect, a work in progress. Love yourself with every ounce of your being. This doesn't mean there isn't room for improvement. It just means that you love and accept yourself just as you are right now. Extraordinary size 84. Delete, delete, delete the labels you have attached to yourself. As you have progressed through this book, you have evolved and experienced an expansion of consciousness. So take out your journal. Write a letter to yourself answering the question, who am I now? The only rule is not to include what you aren't. You are not your gender, age, physical appearance, career, education, job title, accomplishments, possessions, religion, race, relationship associations, or labels, so you can't include these things in your letter. You are not a thing or a doer of things. You are a being. Who is this soul doing the thinking? Who is this soul witnessing my experiences? Who am I? The keys to discovering who you are. Get into a blissful, relaxed, meditative state. Go to the source within. Go with the flow, the universal flow. Silence and willingness, receptivity and expectancy are the keys to tapping into the universal frequency that transmits messages to you. Listen and be receptive to the quiet whispers, inner knowing, urges, and coincidences that the universe is revealing. Acknowledge what is being revealed. As long as you feel a sense of inner peace and contentment, trust the message. Have faith that although right now you may not have all the answers, you are being divinely guided. Don't censor, fear, or deny your inner urges. Let them come to the surface. Your urges are there to guide you, support you, and assist in your personal growth and transformation. Welcome them and be appreciative of their messages. Don't waste time, energy, and joy trying to repress them. They will never go away. Your urges are the essence of who you are. Whether you choose to examine your urges or not, they will always reside within you, requesting, pleading, and demanding to be heard. These messages are your universal calling, calling you to reconnect with the essence of your authentic self. Until you do no amount of acquisitions, accomplishments, accolades, or wealth will give you the inner peace and bliss that you are seeking. Trust these messages. Your openness and trust will be your guiding light, and the light will also invite more messages and urges into your life. Be truthful to yourself. Admit that who you thought you were isn't necessarily who you are. Admit it, accept it, and surrender to your authentic self. Always return home. Home is your center, the place where your authentic self resides. Don't stray from home. Stay centered in your divinity. Free to be me. Speak the truth. Live the truth. To be truly free and happy, develop a sense of awareness and the realization that today is all there is. Yesterday is gone and there's no guarantee of tomorrow. You do not have to be imprisoned or restricted by your personal history. It is necessary to learn from the past so that you don't keep repeating the same mistakes. But refuse to allow yourself to get bogged down or to drag the past into the present. Make a conscious and committed decision to kiss your personal history goodbye. Today is a new day, a fresh start full of new opportunities. It's a cosmic beginning. There's never a good time to justify or defend your limitations, but especially not when you are answering the "Who am I?" question. Don't allow your answer to be corrupted or distorted by self-imposed labels or labels imposed by other people. Labels of limitation and shortcomings. More than ever, when you are answering the question, "Who am I?" you need a mind and heart open to the infinite possibilities and potential residing within your extraordinary self. Release the pigeonholed image of who you think you are. Let go and let it be. Be open to the new, unlimited possibilities. Don't seal your fate by sealing your identity. Ego-based thoughts about who you were, who you think you are, and who you think you will become are limiting and imprisoning you in stagnation and mediocrity. Free yourself. You are free to be your authentic self when you feel a loving presence that makes you feel whole and divine. Nor does it need the approval of accolades from outside sources, material accomplishments, or the acquisition of toys. With freedom, you are able to confidently shed all of your masks. Gone are the limitations, restrictions, and phoniness that you relied on for approval and love. Now you feel comfortable in your own skin and you feel a pure sense of inner peace and connection with your divine inner self. The truth shall set you free. Once you shed your masks, are totally truthful, and make peace with the essence of who you are, you will feel an indescribable and unmatched freedom beyond imagination. You will reconnect with your divine, eternal soul. Freedom comes from having a strong sense of self-worth, value, and integrity, and that comes from knowing who you are. This knowledge is something no one and nothing can take away from you. Freedom is limitless. Freedom gives you the power to manifest your extraordinary destiny. There is a saying that I treasure. It goes something like, no one may live your life or your laughter because no one is going to live your death or your pain. Live for today. Live for what makes your heart sing. Don't think small like the rest. Relentlessly pursue your zest for being the best. Soar above the rest without rest. Let the universe take care of the rest. Don't rest until you unearth your zest for being your best. Always strive to be and do your very best. Your best will change with time and circumstances, but your best will always be your personal best, not the standards, expectations, or goals set by others. When you are constantly competing outside of yourself, you have a tendency to lose yourself. I'm going to read that one more time. When you are constantly competing outside of yourself, you have a tendency to lose yourself. You get so caught up in besting the others that you lose sight of what is truly important to you, your purpose, and at times even your personal integrity. After all, there are no higher standards than the ones that a person of character and integrity can set for himself. Be truly appreciative for who you are, just as you are. Be blissfully happy to have reconnected with your inner self. Assist others in their journey. Give back to the universe. Extraordinary size 85. The truth shall set you free. Make a commitment to catch yourself when you are using ego-based masks and distortions, such as lying, exaggerating, drama, deceptions, and limitations. Reassure yourself that you are more than that. Release the ego-based mask. You are a divine and truthful essence who is no longer going to rely on masks to deceive or hide behind for approval. Then tell yourself and others the truth. When you get into the habit of ceasing to waste energy on making up excuses or stories or covering your tracks, you will feel a sense of freedom, relief, and inner peace. Having inner dialogues with yourself on the merits of living a life that is true and purposeful for your inner self, make it a priority to discover and live a life of integrity, connected to the essence of who you are. Extraordinary size 86. Take out your journal and pen. Get into a relaxed and meditative state. Then answer this question: who am I? Don't edit, correct, or analyze what you are writing. Just let the words flow from your inner self. Forget grammar and penmanship and just write from your heart. Write quickly and furiously, just to write. Below are a few samples to get your juices flowing. Who am I? What makes me happy? What makes me unhappy? What is meaningful in my life? What provokes emotions in me? What makes me tick? Who do I want to be when I grow up? Oh, actually it was, who did I want to be when I grew up? What is important in my life? What do I stand for? What are my beliefs, convictions, and feelings about my life, my death, and my purpose? Who do I admire most? Oh, what do I admire most about myself? What do I take pride in? What do I like? What do I dislike? What do I love about myself? What am I great at doing? Having had a very protective upbringing, I hadn't developed many interests or hobbies. I pretty much narrowed my interest to working out, devouring personal growth and business books, socializing, and dancing. The party kind, not ballet. None of these interests, I felt, were very promising career choices or offered a promising living. I didn't think that I could make a career out of reading books or partying, and at the time I wasn't sold on a career in the exercise field. I worked out to stay fit and get out of the house, not because it was my passion to spend all day inside of a gym. So basically I felt clueless about what to pursue. At first I was frustrated and disappointed, but I was still determined to discover my passion and purpose. Through my learned wisdom and extraordinary sizes, I have developed an unequivocal faith that each one of us has interests we are passionate about, and our passion contains the seeds to discovering our purpose. All we need to do is tap into it. So I diligently and confidently meditated and contemplated the repetitive themes in my life lessons. I focused on what I loved, released limiting beliefs and labels, reviewed my journal, focused on myself, discoveries, and what I'm passionate about, and surrendered my faith to my inner guidance to reveal my purpose. This process helped me to polish my passions, values, and priorities into a more focused direction of my life's purpose. I wasn't yet ready to etch it in stone, but I felt the excitement and passion bubbling up within me. That's how I knew that I was on the right track. My life purpose is to beautify, create, coach, educate, inspire, and motivate myself and others to live extraordinary lives, rich in personal growth, passion, faith, joy, love, laughter, and abundance. At the time, I felt that I still had some fine-tuning to do before I totally committed to my newfound purpose. But it resonated with me. It felt right. It felt like the perfect fit. I was eager to test it out, and I was even more enthusiastic to discover how I could turn it from a warm and fuzzy concept to a manifesting reality. If you are willing and patient and put in the effort, these extraordinary sizes can lead you to your true purpose. What lights your fire? Your passion is the fire burning so brilliantly that it illuminates your path. And it's the fuel feeding your quest for an extraordinary life. What lights your fire? What makes your juices flow? What are you passionate about? What makes you feel joy and bliss? What do you want for your life? Unfortunately, most people get bogged down in asking disempowering questions, rhetorical questions, senseless questions, or repetitive questions without truly believing or expecting that they will get an answer. What you need to do is to rephrase these questions and make them into empowering ones. Then get into a state of total expectancy and focus on getting empowering answers. Be like a child. Question everything. Empowering questions are the breeding grounds for empowering answers. What you need to do is to ask yourself, what do I really truly want out of my life? For example, do you want a loving and blissful marriage? Do you want a successful career? Do you want more power? Do you want more money? Do you want a healthy relationship with your children? Do you want a better relationship with your parents or your family members? Do you want to travel to exotic destinations? Do you want to be an adventurer? Do you want to be a healer? Do you want to be an anthropologist? Do you want to be a philanthropist? Do you want to be a writer? Or do you want to make a difference? Do you want to change or influence laws? Do you want to retire? Do you want to change your career? What contribution do you want to make to this world? What is it that your soul craves? Ask and you will receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened to you. Matthew 7:7. If you ask, the answers will be revealed. The answers are always within you. You just need to ask the right questions. You need to consistently, persistently ask empowering questions with the wholehearted expectation of receiving an answer. The quality of your questions will determine the quality of your answers and ultimately the quality of your life. Remember, what you focus on will expand. So wholeheartedly focus on what you want, never on your fears and on what you don't want. Life is too short and precious to waste your time and energy longing for what you think you want or what others expect you to want or have. Most people, whether they follow in their partner's or their parents' footsteps or branch out, go through the motions of living, just existing in life. Okay, I'm going to read that one more time. Most people, whether they follow in their parents' footsteps or branch out, go through the motions of living, just existing in life. More often than not, people unconsciously go through the expected and established societal norms of getting an education, getting a job, paying bills, getting married, buying a house, having children, planning for retirement, and so on. Living an extraordinary life is about knowing what you truly want, wanting what you have, and appreciating what you have so that you attract more of it. Dare to dream. Right now, place your palm over your heart and ask for guidance. Listen to the rhythmic pounding of your heart. What is it saying? What do you feel? What will make your heart sing? What lights your fire? Listen to your heart. It will never steer you wrong. Dare to trust your soul's urges. This chapter is about tapping into your desires to find out what you are truly passionate about so you can design a massive plan to manifest it. Your fire is on the brink of being extinguished. If you are doing what you do because it's familiar, safe, or easy, if you are bored or frustrated or disappointed with your life or career, if you are just going through the motions of living, if you stay married out of convenience, if you are afraid to upset the status quo, if you feel a void within you, if you are in such a rut that your neighbor can recite your daily routine, if you spend every weekend in front of the TV rather than socializing or dating, if you are thinking and living small, if you live your life on the sidelines, if your only friend is your pet, if you are living with frustration, guilt, disappointment, or depression, If you habitually and consistently avoid, ignore, deny, or suppress your inner urges, pushing you toward your life's purpose, your fire is on the brink of being extinguished. Acknowledge that it is only your fears and apprehensions coloring your perception, and not an indication of reality. You can and should be free to want anything and everything. Discover and honor your desires. Remember, wanting is good as long as you don't need it to feel whole and happy. Wanting fires up your passions. Don't allow excuses or obstacles to keep you from hoping, longing, and going for it. Don't be a closet wanter. Closet wanters hide their innermost desires from the world, sometimes even from themselves, because they are afraid of disappointment, disapproval, or failure. This is the emotional and spiritual equivalent of tiptoeing around quicksand. It is a life brimming with stagnation, lack, and deprivation. Basically, it is squandering your gifts and the time you have on this earth. I just had a thought about my dad. And we can talk about that. You know, it's like, what are we squandering? So the smile that came to my heart right now is taking care of my dad during COVID while he was on in-home hospice, and he says, "Stop being a stingy bitch." And it's just something that the way that it came about was over a plate of food, because I was still cooking, so I just gave him a little nibble to start with, and he said I was being a stingy bitch. But, you know, like, how do we squander our gifts? Basically, it is squandering your gifts. Okay, so I'm going to reread that. Sorry. It just made me smile in the moment. And I know our angels are our angelic cheerleaders that are our loved ones, our ancestors, our dearest friends, our soulmates, are, you know, those beings that have helped walk us home on our journey, and we've helped walk them home. So I'm going to reread that sentence here. This is the emotional and spiritual equivalent. Okay, I'm going to go back. Sorry, I digress. Okay, starting at the top of this paragraph. Don't allow excuses or obstacles to keep you from hoping, longing, and going for it. Don't be a closet wanter. Closet wanters hide their innermost desires from the world, sometimes even from themselves, because they are afraid of disappointment, disapproval, or failure. This is the emotional and spiritual equivalent of tiptoeing around quicksand. It is a life brimming with stagnation, lack, and deprivation. Basically, it is squandering your gifts and the time you have on this earth. Okay, let's not do that anymore. And I've been guilty, just like you. Okay. What a shame. You will never be able to get what you want if you don't first claim it and then go after it. Don't be shy. This is your life we are talking about. Don't squander your time and energy on fears of not being good enough and not being brave enough or not having enough resources. All things are possible if you allow yourself to believe in your inner self and your dreams. Go for it. Extraordinary size 87. This exercise is similar to ones you have completed in previous chapters. I'm asking you to humor me and do it again. Why? Because you are now older and wiser. Since you completed those exercises, you have done a lot more soul searching and inner growth. It is possible that what you wanted then is not necessarily what you want now, or perhaps not in the same order of importance. Also, now that you have more insight, you can be more specific about what you really want. So grab your journal, sit down, and get into a meditative state, perhaps in the bathtub with some soft music and candlelight. She knows me. Answer those empowering questions. What am I passionate about? What nourishes my soul? What are my greatest talents and skills? What new interests do I want to learn about? What do I excel at or want to excel at? What lights my fire? What am I doing or thinking when I lose track of time? Am I alone? If not, who am I doing it with? How does it make me feel? What did I love to do when I was young? Who did I want to be when I was growing up? How would my life be different if I had gone that route? If I could do anything, what would it be? What desires am I depriving myself of? What is the essence of what I really want to feel? What extraordinary things am I capable of? What will make me feel totally joyful and in harmony with my inner self? What can I do to fire up the quality of my life? How will getting this fire up the quality of my life and those of others? I'm going to read that one again. How will getting this fire up the quality of my life and those of others? How will having or attaining, fill in the blank, feel like? How will having or obtaining, you fill in the blank, make me feel? How will it affect my life? What will I be contributing? And what do I want to contribute? Your goal is to concentrate on what you truly want. Set specific, clear, and focused desires. Ascertain with provocative questions that they are truly what you want. It takes courage to identify what you want and then to wholeheartedly pursue it. You may fear rejection or ridicule from others. You may be afraid to fail. You may need to make a few sacrifices to get what you want, but aren't you worth it? There is only one correct answer, so answer carefully. I'm listening. Keep the fire burning. You may have a long laundry list of desires, but what you ultimately want is to satisfy fundamental feelings that you have. You don't experience authentic bliss and joy from scratching off another item from your laundry list of desires. This is temporary pleasure at best. At worst, it is another empty and superficial trophy weighing down your spirit because it adds to the confusion. Why did yet another accomplishment fail to fulfill you? Next time you're wanting and craving something, rather than focusing on the thing, focus on your feelings. Ask yourself, why do I want these things? What is the essence of what I truly want to feel? You will discover that what you want is rooted in a feeling you want to change. For example, if you want fancy cars and homes, you may want to experience the feeling of being successful. If you want a big investment account, you may want to experience the feeling of security. If you want an awesome relationship, you may want the feeling of intimacy or connection. If you want to be an activist or a humanitarian, you may want to experience the feeling of contribution or purpose. Obtaining your fundamental desires is rooted in changing your emotions or feelings. Don't confuse the means with the end. By this I mean, don't just focus on obtaining the object or event you want. Instead, identify the feeling you want to satisfy. Yes, you can have cars, houses, designer clothes, or boats. Just make sure that you aren't craving these things for the wrong reasons or dependent on them to give you the feelings that you think that they will give you. If you have been working on healing your authentic self, you won't be dependent on needing to fulfill your desires to feel happy. Nor will you be disappointed by the discovery that obtaining what you desire didn't truly fulfill you. When you come from a place of wanting rather than dependence or need, you will find that there is more than one way to skin a cat. You will find that by first fulfilling your inner joy, you will appreciate and enjoy your desires when you do manifest them. To keep the fire burning through the long haul, you need to focus on what you truly want and the fundamental feeling you want to experience as a result of attaining your desires. When your priority is true inner joy and harmony, then obtaining all of your material desires is the gravy. Once you know that your authentic self wants to feel unbounded joy and bliss, feed the fire with feelings and emotions. Manipulate feelings to motivate you to get what you want. Use feelings to inspire you. You do this by redirecting your feelings towards the things that you associate with pain and pleasure. Fuel your drive for a better relationship by focusing on all of the pleasurable feelings that you will get from it. Your challenge in reconnecting your wants is to overcome the feelings of inadequacy, of unworthiness, of being disappointed, of not measuring up. Learn to love and accept yourself just as you are in the here and now. Don't go in search of approval from others in order to make life choices or to feel good about yourself. Self-love and self-approval provides you with the freedom to dream big and reach for the stars without apologies, guilt, or limitations. By unearthing your true desires, you will free yourself to feel, to want, to hope, to aspire, and to pursue a more meaningful and purposeful life. This is the meaning of true freedom. Don't let anyone deter you. Don't waver. You must persistently and consistently keep feeding your fire with emotional intensity. Fire up every area of your life. Life's a balancing act, so it is crucial to create balance and harmony in all the areas of your life, not just your particular desires for a particular part of your life. An extraordinary life requires a strategy for continually evaluating where you are in your life and what areas you need to give more attention to. As I'm a feng shui consultant, I use the 9 life areas of the Bagua. Feng shui is the ancient Chinese art of placement to enhance the qi, which is life energy, in our surroundings. The Bagua is the instrument used to divide the space into 9 life areas. Here is the 9 life areas of the Bagua: career, marriage partnership, knowledge, spirituality, children and creativity, family, health, wealth and prosperity, helpful people and travel, fame and recognition. Often people become obsessed with getting what they think will bring them happiness in life and go for it. Full steam ahead. This type of dedication and focus is great for achieving what you truly want. Unfortunately, it is often at a steep price. In Feng Shui, all of the 9 life areas are equally important for a healthy, harmonious, prosperous, and meaningful life. Life is a balancing act. In order to live an extraordinary and rewarding life, you must learn the delicate art of balancing all of the 9 life areas. It's challenging, but it's definitely the key to true overall happiness and joy. What usually occurs is that people become so fixated on fulfilling one or a few of the 9 life areas that they lose sight of the big picture. So in their quest to achieve what they want, they do so at the expense of their loved ones, or their own happiness, or their health, or another area of life. They sacrifice so much to get what they want. Often when they get it, it isn't as satisfying or gratifying as they had envisioned. Why? They sacrificed so much of themselves and others to get what they wanted that the other areas of their lives have taken a major nosedive. Often we are so bogged down in the minor day-to-day details of living life that certain areas of our lives suffer. Another reason why our lives fall out of balance is that it is human nature to continue to do what we excel at. If, for instance, you love your job and you are really great at it, this is where you feel comfortable. You feel a sense of recognition and achievement. It is human nature to do more of what comes easily. This is where you get your big payoff, especially if you aren't getting much affection or fulfillment in your relationship or other areas of your life. As you dedicate more time and energy to your job or career, there is less of you to spread out all over the other areas of your life. Unless you make a conscious and committed effort to balance your life, the other parts of your life will suffer. I'm sure that you have often heard of people who are extremely successful in their careers, but as a consequence of the amount of time and energy they put into them, their marriages are falling apart, their children are strangers, and they are stressed and perhaps overweight from overwork and overeating while glued to a desk. The riches and success don't make up for the loneliness and emptiness that they feel. Money can't buy you happiness. Don't get me wrong, money is a great currency to have and to share, but it just isn't the end all. There needs to be more in life than striving, acquiring, and hoarding. There needs to be living joyously and fully. There needs to be a balance in all that you do so that you can be all that you were born to be. Balancing life isn't about achieving perfection. No one is perfect. Balancing your life is about making a conscious commitment to work towards your whole, complete, loved, and loving. You balance your life by making a conscious commitment to give attention, affection, and care to all the areas of your life, including the ones that are causing you discomfort, disappointment, dissatisfaction, and disharmony. I created a mantra that says the more attention you place on your intentions, the more your life will flourish. Think of life areas as your children. What kind of parent would you be if you focused all of your attention on love on one of a few select children while neglecting or abandoning the others? What kind of children would you raise? An extraordinary parent doesn't play favorites. You must spread your attention and affection to all the areas of your life. Your true inner joy is experienced when you invite love and balance into your life. Extraordinary size 88. Take a hard, honest look at your life. In which areas have you excelled? And which areas have you allowed to fall by the wayside? Which areas of your life need tender, loving care, or perhaps intensive care? For each of the 9 life areas, grade on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the highest, your sense of personal accomplishment and satisfaction. In which life areas do you focus your attention? How do you spend your time? What is the payoff? Evaluate how much time you devote to each life area on a weekly basis. Create a pie chart so that you can see a good overview. Now evaluate which life areas are on the brink of needing intensive care and need more tender, loving care. Create a new pie chart, prioritizing by need. The new pie chart will show you where you need to commit more of yourself to balance the scales. Make a commitment to spend more energy and time on the weaker life areas. Determine the payoff you will get for enhancing these weaker areas. Determine the payoff you will get for enhancing these weaker areas. Then, with emotional intensity, visualize how the great payoff will feel. To add leverage and motivation to inspire you to fire up these life areas. From the example I used earlier of the workaholic spending more time and energy with family and taking care of his health would have a huge payoff in terms of emotional connection, love, joy, happiness, health, harmony, stronger intimacy, healthier relationships, and more energy and vitality. What can you do to strengthen the life areas that are in intensive care or in need of tender, loving care. How can you inject more balance into these areas? Make a commitment to enhance these areas of your life. Choose at least 3 things that you can do every day to fire up each of these life areas. Design an extraordinary life by vividly envisioning how you want your whole life to be, and keep that vision in the foreground of your soul. Fill out a journal of the milestones and signposts as you move past them. This not only keeps your life on track and makes for a great autobiography, but it also makes you more appreciative of your progress toward becoming a more well-rounded and enlightened human becoming. Each individual's priorities during particular stages of their lives can be different. Someone may be willing in the short term to postpone love and marriage for a career, but another person may be willing to sacrifice or jeopardize his career to start a family. It is all about making conscious life choices. The key word is conscious. How you choose to juggle the different life areas in this fast-paced and hectic world is entirely up to you. Just remember, life is a delicate balancing act. If you don't feel the level of joy and fulfillment you desire, don't stubbornly do more of what you have been doing. Rather, evaluate the different areas of your life with the intention of infusing love, harmony, and balance into them. You do not have to sacrifice and jeopardize one for another. The 9 life areas are meant to be complementary. Personal growth and success in one area increases opportunities for it to spill into other life areas. For example, when you feel a certain level of success in your career, you feel more confident and prosperous. With your conscious intent, this has the potential to spill into the other life areas. Your confidence and joy have the potential to positively affect your relationship with your significant other. Your career success begets a level of recognition and fame. Career success and security can offer you a means to start a family or spend more time with your children. Career success brings you in more contact with people who have the potential to be helpful and mentoring. Career success usually requires that you acquire more knowledge in order to stay competitive. Career success can influence your health with all those feel-good endorphins you are releasing. This can inspire you to take better care of yourself so that you can be more dynamic and have more vitality and energy. Finally, career success has the potential to bring prosperity and fortunate blessings into your life. The opposite is also true. Continued neglect of a life area for an extended period of time will not only have a negative impact on that area, but it will spread, affecting the other life areas as well. Extraordinary tidbit. For people who are on the fence about the power of feng shui, here is a quick story about a client who was doing well financially and bought a new home. Shortly after she moved, her business started going under. Her finances were in shambles, and her abundance and fortunate blessings had taken a major nosedive. A friend exposed her to feng shui and introduced her to me. I immediately diagnosed the problem. Not only was her fortunate blessing and abundance corner missing in her floor plan, but she also had quite a bit of clutter and stagnant water in the outdoor area where the abundance section of her home should have been. I made the cosmetic and esoteric recommendations, including adding a brighter light to the corner of the home, clearing out the clutter, adding a wind chime, healthy plants with purple flowers, and a working fountain, and doing an esoteric exercise to set the intention, enhance and energetically create the abundance section of her home. Within a few weeks, her business picked up and her fortunate blessings increased. Within a few months, she wrote me a letter telling me that her business had improved so dramatically that she was initiating plans for expansion. Never underestimate the impact of the chi energy has in your environment. I encourage you to learn feng shui and apply feng shui cures to your surroundings, or hire a certified feng shui consultant. It will make a world of difference in your life, as it has for my clients, my family, and myself. Juggling the balancing act. Most people gravitate toward their comfort zones. They devote most of their energy and time to what they excel at doing because it is more familiar and rewarding. Your odds of triumphing go up exponentially, and so does your likelihood of receiving more accolades. And this feels good. Focusing on your strengths further strengthens what you already know you are good at, but it does nothing to strengthen the weaker areas of your life, the ones that are on life support. Just as your strengths give you the most joy and rewards, your weak areas give you the most pain and suffering. By strengthening your weaker areas, you will minimize and eventually even eliminate the pain and suffering that you have been subjecting yourself to with your neglect and avoidance of these areas. Remember, the whole world is a school. You are here to learn, improve, and graduate. Staying in your comfort zone won't satisfy the requirements for a lifelong curriculum called life. If anything, it could be the cause of your downfall or of chaotic life experiences in bodybuilding. If you just work your upper body, chest, back, and arms, these muscles will get massive to the detriment of the other parts that you are neglecting. You often see men with massive upper bodies and thin toothpick-type legs. Their bodies are shaped like a tooth, wide on the top, thin on the bottom, and this creates circulation imbalances and places enormous stress and weight on the leg muscles, joints, knees, calves, and ankles, not to mention the fact that it looks funny. Yet many bodybuilders keep working on their upper bodies even when their bodies are getting more distorted. Why? Because they have had massive success working these body parts. They postpone focusing on the lower body where it is usually harder to build muscle and more time consuming. They often reason that their legs are usually covered up in pants, especially in winter. So they focus mostly on their upper bodies, where the results are more visible and gratifying. By continually strengthening your strong life areas, you are neglecting the other aspects of your life. This creates a lack of equilibrium and balance in your life that chokes the oxygen out of life. The joy and harmony from living a rich and rewarding life, well-rounded life. What you need to do is to integrate all the areas of your life in order to promote wholeness and harmony. Extraordinary size 89. Look at an area of your life in which you feel a sense of imbalance. Brainstorm ways that you can fortify this area and excel in it. Ask yourself, what can I do to improve this particular area of my life? What would make me feel more balanced and harmonious? From your brainstorming list, first prioritize and then implement your plans into your life. Wholeheartedly focus on strengthening the weaker areas of your life. Your goal is to align, calibrate, and integrate all areas of your life. Doing so will create more of the authentic joy, peace, and harmony that your life longs for. Do this for every area of your life where you feel an imbalance. I recommend that you take it a step further and do it for all of the life areas. Don't get burned. This section might sound like a contradiction, but once you have done all of your homework, know what you want, and are determined to go after it, you need to detach from the outcome. You are probably thinking, I've lost my marbles, but on the contrary, I recovered my marbles when I discovered this law. The law of detachment says that for you to get what you want, you need to surrender your attachment to it. This doesn't mean that you give up wanting it. It just means that you don't try to force a specific outcome or result. When you are attached to a specific outcome, you are coming from lower energies where fear, insecurity, and uncertainty keep you separate from your authentic self and your faith in the universe. Basically, you are back to striving and acquiring from a poverty mindset of not having or being enough. Your attachment to a specific outcome delays and may even prevent you from getting what you want. Or if you get the status symbols you wanted, you won't truly enjoy them or feel fulfilled, because the means to the end wasn't necessarily what your soul needed in order to feel whole at this particular time. Detachment doesn't interfere with setting your own intention, designing your life or setting goals and working toward them, by all means, you should set goals. Goals guide your direction and motivate you to take action. Detachment just requires you to relinquish your rigid rules, the ones that say that everything must go according to your master plan. Stay open to the way life evolves. Stay flexible when meeting the detours along the way. Stay fluid, creative, and willing to go with the flow, to bend with the curves in the road called life. Don't stubbornly forge ahead on the same path if you see avalanche warnings, flashing detour signs, and red neon or stop signs. These are signals from the universe that you need to take a breather and design alternate routes. It may be that you will discover a super speedway, a road less traveled, or a brand new road. You may discover that what you thought you wanted all along isn't exactly what you wanted, or you may discover something even better. When you surrender your attachment, you open yourself to receiving all of the infinite abundance and grace of the universe. Attachment develops from fear consciousness. Detachment develops faith consciousness. Detachment requires a leap of faith into the unknown. Detachment fuels the juice that creates expectancy, adventure, excitement, possibilities, surprises, and mystery. It is what makes you step out of your mundane routine that makes for a bland, unfulfilling, and empty life. When you are detached from the outcome, you are open to receiving what you want from anyone, anywhere. It opens up a new world of unlimited possibilities and opportunities. Fan your fire. Wanting more is great, but giving is divine. When you give of yourself and your possessions, you are opening yourself to the infinite abundance and grace of the universe. You are creating a dynamic energy exchange of benevolence and goodwill. In the universal law of giving and receiving, the dynamic exchange of giving and receiving is what opens the floodgates of abundance. When your world revolves around striving and acquiring, the natural progression is hoarding and accumulating. This is what stagnates or retards the abundance flowing into your life. Because my fire has been on the brink of extinction for so long, I had no inkling of how to fan my fire. I was stuck in a deep rut, bored with my mundane life and frustrated with living on the sidelines for so long. I just wanted to stop focusing on myself and start focusing on how I could make a difference, a contribution. Up until then, it had been all about me, how I felt, what had been missing, and what I wanted. But suddenly I realized that my life, was about more than me. More than anything, I wanted to share what I had learned throughout my pilgrimage so that I could assist others in transforming their lives. I began formulating a plan to incorporate and synergize my passions while making a contribution. I made a wholehearted commitment to find a way to stay true to my passions, and this time to follow the road where it may lead. The more you want, the more you should give. The more spiritual and expedient way to get what you want is by helping others to get what they want. The more you give, the more you will receive, because you are keeping the circulation flowing. For the benefit of full disclosure, I must add that you must give from the heart, never grudgingly or with selfish intent. Giving needs to be an unconditional and joyful experience. Make a commitment to fan your fire by bestowing gifts to everyone that you meet. This doesn't have to be an expensive undertaking. It can be in the form of a flower, a homemade card, a prayer, a blessing, a compliment, a kind deed, a sincere smile, or a heartfelt hug. Just make sure that you fan your warmth and fire onto others. Fan the fires of love, compassion, harmony, and goodwill. that concludes chapter 14 of Extraordinary You. This beautiful gift by Jacqueline Ortiz that she left for us. Our angelic angel, angelic cheerleader here, guiding us, nurturing us, and helping us to embody the extraordinary you that you've always known was within. I'm Jacqueline Bambenek with Vibrational Energy Solutions. And until chapter 15, which is called A Purposeful Life, we will see you then. From my heart to yours. Bye for now.